Aloha and good morning. I just got back from my Peru trip with my son Weston and my brother Sean, who's president of Ultimate Superfoods, and Gulis, who's our sourcer. And she travels around the world to find the best products at the best deal directly through manufacturers and growers. So what a trip it's been. What a beautiful experience to be able to not only experience with your family, but to be able to really get into some different areas that I've never seen personally before. And, you know, I've done some other videos just to show us really sometimes how lucky we are to live in the United States, because everything's pretty organized here. But then again, there's also negatives living in the United States, just because there's negatives anywhere you go. But let me tell you, going to Lima is a pretty beautiful town when you get close to the ocean. But the further you get away from the ocean, where the money is, the more, not even third world country, it's a fourth world country. Massive pollution, just noise pollution, just 24 hours a day. Beep, 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 everyone beeping their horns, and just massive amount of people. It's 14 million people in Lima. The sun doesn't shine for 6 months there, so that was an experience. And, you know, the people are beautiful there. That's for sure. What a beautiful set of people. That's one thing I've noticed, that, you know, as you travel around the world, you find out that the more sometimes we have, the less happy we are. So if that makes sense to you, well, great. If it doesn't, then you need to travel so you can see people that really have nothing. Okay? They are living a very simple life, but also very complete. And we sometimes live a very complex life and very much are chasing our tails, trying to find the next thrill or adventure, because we're not really living. We're only surviving. You know, I started my detox program when I came back a few days ago because I feel that I was massively polluted, not only traveling in the plane 9 hours each way, sucking up all the radiation up in the stratosphere, and there's a massive amount of radiation in the stratosphere. I brought my radar detector, or excuse me, my radiation detector, and 1,000 counts per minute, and that's a lot. Our normal radiation here on the Big Island is about 16 to 20 counts per minute. Los Angeles was about, between 30 and 60 counts per minute, which is way more than double here a lot of times. That's the fluctuation pattern. And what the radiation counter does is it picks up different forms of radiation, different forms of ionizing radiation that's usually too hot for our bodies to be able to digest. The particles are too hot, so they cause us a lot of dysfunction. Radiation was one of the poisons, okay? My chest is hacky right now. And once we got out of the city of Lima, everything was way less polluted, just because it's just not the city. All the cities, if you travel anywhere in the world, no matter where you go, Italy, France, Germany, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Florida, any of the cities have a massive amount of pollution just because of the massive amount of people, and everybody's got a car. You've got cell phones, super Wi-Fi. You've got all different forms of pollution. Remember, it's not a simple thing just to say there's pollution. There's all different forms: radiation, noise pollution, just taking showers in fluoride, because I'm used to taking showers in rainwater. Taking showers in fluoride and chlorine massively is an assault on your body. Massive. So I didn't want to live too much as a red herring. Okay, so I ate when everybody else did. tried to eat as good as I could, and gained about 10 pounds, getting away from my one meal a day. And anybody who really, this is, my own personal experience, anybody who keeps on eating 3 times a day, you're never going to get healthy. Just not. So until you get down to your desired layer where you wish to be at, then you should cut down and calorie restrict yourself and learn the ketogenic diet that I teach people on eartheracademy.com, our private digital school. And learning the detox principles, protocols, and practices are essential no matter where you live. The first thing I did when I got home was I did my sauna several times, and you should see the stuff that came out of my skin. Now, we traveled all over Peru, and like I said, Peru is a big place. We went to the Amazon. That was an experience. Wow. Lots of critters over there that want to eat you, just sort of like Pandora, the movie Avatar. Everything on this planet wants to eat you. Well, everything in the Amazon does too. Crocodiles, all different weird insects, bed bugs, just suboptimal cleanliness in a lot of places. So there are certain things that you really need to take with you when you go on these trips, just in case you do feel like you got infected from parasites, fungi, mycoplasm. They're humid places, so there's lots of different poisons. Not so much physical poisons like mercury, cadmium, aluminum, lead. Okay, insects, bites, poisons. There's a multitude of different assaults. So if you do feel like you have been assaulted, and you'll know your throat, you'll just have sinus drainage, and what do? Okay, this is a film that I'm doing right now on detoxification procedures, not only where you live. That's just a consistent thing. We live in a world right now where we definitely have to learn detoxification practices daily. So if you traveled and you're not used to this pollution, then definitely you want to, when you come back, you want to unwind all that accumulation. And it's not easy. Remember, once you accumulate, it's easy to accumulate. Getting away from the accumulation in your body and your mind, it's not easy. So one of the most interesting things I found is that Peru doesn't have any, at the amount of what we'd call food like we have here. They got tons of food, 2,000 types of potatoes, hundreds of types, varieties of heirloom corn. They have all this stuff, all available, all the time. And you know why? They will not let, at all, Monsanto come into their world. And Monsanto, remember, is to me, a big cause of a lot of the people that we see that are definitely sick and tired. Sick and tired. Overweight. In Peru, there was maybe 1 out of 1,000 people that I saw that was overweight. I didn't even see that many obese people. If they were travelers. They were vacationers. The people that live there are very simple. There's no GMOs. I didn't see any chemtrails when I was there at all. And hardly anybody smokes. So, we, as the United States, remember, have 100 million diabetics. We have 100 million obese people. Why are these people sick and tired? Why? So you have to give yourself that question. We're just all used to seeing people that are overweight, obese, and if you can't see your stomach muscles, you're overweight. Sorry to tell you. And overweight means you're toxic. Toxicity is in the form of body fat. Body fat is a live creature. And if you don't believe so, you're just kidding yourself. Just being ignorant. And ignorant is not bliss. when you have this assault that lives within you, parasites. Parasites only live because of the toxification, accumulation, the lymph body, which is 3 times the amount minimum of our blood, is the amount of volume of the lymph. And if this is clogged, then you become fat, sick, and tired. So, there is a big picture here. And the picture is, for us to get smart and navigate through this schism. Remember, I saw very few people in Peru that were overweight. Very few. So, that's a big question we need to ask ourselves. Why are the people in the United States so obese and sick? Remember, we're a nation that has lost our charge, lost our power, lost our integrity with ourselves. All you have to do is, again, look at the statistics. There is also mental health here, massive amounts of mental health. There's 50 million people in the United States that are taking SSRIs, antidepressants, Zoloft, Paxil, okay? All these chemicals that we put inside our body just because, well, we don't feel well. And who gives them to us? We go to the doctor, and the doctor gives them to us. That's just, to me, it's pretty criminal. Okay? The reason being why you don't feel good is because you got toxicity in your system. You're lacking minerals in your system. So there's many different factors and variables and dynamics, but that's the reason why we put together our digital school, eartheracademy.com. We have hundreds of different private videos that are not open on YouTube for you to be able to pick through and see where your mind can understand, where it can upgrade, where it can enhance, where it can optimize. So, we've also put together, and it is important for you to really step up to the plate and get away from buying radiated food. Get away from buying radiated food. Everything you purchase at Costco, all these different companies, Safeway, Vaughn's, any of the stores that bring in and any type of fruit or food, it's all radiated. Okay, it's all radiated with microwaves and or radiated with radiation to kill whatever's in the food, supposedly bugs and mold and different critters like fruit flies. But most importantly, what it does is it destroys the structure of the food. Eating this type of food, you are what you eat, and this is the dysfunction that we absorb. So, like I said, the people in Peru, they're the nicest people that I met. Very nice. It is dangerous there, many spots though. But the people in general, very nice. Everybody wants to talk to you. We went to the Highlands where the maca grows. 15,000 feet. And we're, staying with the Incans up there. Very small, statured being, which is, the women were like 4 feet tall, the men are like 4.5 feet. I felt like a giant. Then we went, to see the quinoa fields. Quinoa grows at about 9,000 feet, 10,000 feet. This is the Highland quinoa versus the coastal quinoa that Trader Joe's and everybody else sells, which is not the same. So, it is very confusing when you purchase things at the store, foods and so forth. Just because it says organic doesn't mean that it's the type or variety that you want. Maca grows at about 14,000 feet. And the Chinese actually make maca in the lowland and the coastal areas, and they've hybridized it. So a lot of the maca that you buy that's not been grown on the highlands has root system like ginseng. It's got 5 roots, maybe 6 roots coming out of the bottom of the maca, versus the highland maca only has 1 root right in the middle. That's it. It's a center root. And, the Camu Camu, we went and saw the 50,000 trees that we farm up there on the Amazon, right on the river. And what a beautiful, beautiful place the Amazon is. And freshwater dolphins, piranhas everywhere. And like I said, the nicest people in the world. Food is very big in Peru, as it is here. They still have McDonald's there. They still had KFC. They even had Burger King. Okay, Murder King, as I call it. Kill over 100 billion animals a year just to feed our parasites. You know, this is sort of hard for people to understand, but why do you eat meat? Why? It's because something inside you says you can. And once you remove these tapeworms, fish tapeworm, beef tapeworm, pork tapeworm, and a variety of different other intestinal parasites, you couldn't eat that stuff if you wanted to, only because it's like coming from the morgue. I go to the store and I took pictures and videos, and it's amazing. Like I said, these people eat everything over there, but it's all grass-fed. There's no GM corn. There's no BT corn from Monsanto. They will not let Monsanto into the country. They said, absolutely not. You'll destroy our culture. You're going to destroy our heirloom food supply. The corn, called chakla, grows at 10,000 feet, has kernels this big, okay, as big as my thumbnail, bigger. And the varieties of corn that I ate over there, I ate corn every day. I love corn. I don't touch it over here, though. I just don't. It's all Highland corn. It's corn that only grows in the Highlands. That's the reason why they've hybridized it. And in the United States is because the true corn grows in the higher altitudes. And it is a very staple food for the Peruvians. And like I said, I didn't see hardly any fat people there, sick people. And not only that, the people that if you see in the United States, they're not only overweight and sick in the mind, okay, and this is my observation. And if you're not seeing this, it's only because maybe, you know, you can't see it, because maybe you're part of it also. But once you clean up your mind, you can see this very easily. It sticks out like a sore thumb. And, you know, I noticed also, you know, in the United States, a lot of the people that are overweight here, they can't physically modulate their body. They can't walk well. They're stiff. You know, they turn their head and they have to turn their whole body. Their body's glycated. It's turning into oxalates. It's all hardening up. So this is the idea, is to really go ahead and learn some of the terrain modification protocols, principles, and practices that I've been putting together for over 30 years. This information is very valid and essential, and efficacy means that as people use this, the proven truth will actually be ignited through not only the way you feel, not only the way you look, but the way your mind is clear. That's the biggest part of living a non-toxic or less toxic life, is so you can have clarity of your mind. You'll see the zoo, is what I call it, the movies that CNN puts out, all the news, CNN, MGM, NBC, Fox News, all the triple alphabet companies, the NSA, the CIA, the IRS, okay? These are all agencies that really don't do much for us at all, except feed us a lot of information that they want to feed us, and or not tell us the truth, which we found out over and over and over again. So once you clean up your mind and your body, then you'll be able to see through this veil of illusion, what I call it, of lies. You know, do I need the government to govern me? I don't. Why? Because I'm thinking with my heart. I'm not just thinking with my mind. Okay? I'm thinking with my heart, which overrides my mind, because it filters it to be able to think with love. It filters it to think with nourishment. It filters it to think with, we are connected to the whole of the sum of the parts of the whole. It's just what it is. So I'll go over my full detox program at Earther Academy, and you know, just stepping up by putting minerals in your diet. See, they don't even use, they are proud to not use chemicals at all, synthetics, hormones, antibiotics. They're proud, and you can see it in the people. They're not sick, and if they are, there's very few. It's like when I went to school, I'm 55 years old right now, and when I went to school, when I was 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, there was only one obese girl in the school. Her name was Lynn. I won't say her last name. And there was one obese boy. His name was Steve. That's it, in the whole school. Now if you go there, you'll find out that not only are there a high percentage of obese children at every level, but there's also sickness. They're also taking Ritalin. They're also taking these drugs to be able to sedate them, to be able to let them so they'll conform to the insanity that we're being taught. Are you being taught anything in school? Of course you are. But is it worthy on your mind to be able to help you with your life furtherly down the line? Maybe to get a job, okay? But it's not going to give you a worldly view at all. So, we put together Earth Shift products also. And this is the best way, that you can upgrade, enhance, and optimize your life. It's all wholesale, free shipping, especially on your first order. And after that, it's just a small amount you have to buy, and you get free shipping in the United States, besides Canada and Hawaii. We give 50% shipping off of Hawaii, Puerto Rico, and Alaska. We don't really do any international shipping for right now, but it is essential to be able to add superfoods to your diet. Just eating vegetables is cool, but there's not that many minerals in them. Okay? You need to add the superfoods, the minerals, the silica, fulvic acid. Like I said, I put on my skin. I put my minerals through my skin. It's called transdermal nutrition. And transdermal nutrition means that I don't have to use my mouth to try to get it into my body. It has to go through my intestinal tract, all my gut wall flora. Have to be healthy just to be able to let the minerals in. How about let me bypass that and put it onto my skin so it goes right inside me. So there's many secrets that you should be learning. And you're not going to hear these on the mainstream. I'm sorry, you're not going to hear any of this information on not even the mainstream, the lamestream. It's even worse than the mainstream. And most people, remember, believe what they hear if it comes from an authority. All I can say is weigh and measure that information. Weigh and measure how many times you've been lied to. By who? The authorities. Weigh and measure how many times you've been tricked and bamboozled. Okay? And had the wool pulled over your eyes. Why? It's because, well, I don't know why. Makes me feel embarrassed sometimes to be an American. Just because, we've put 800 military bases around the world outside of our country. We blow up Syria, Afghanistan, Libya on the, quote, terrorism idea. And now you've got yourself hundreds, thousands of refugees. Well, if you wouldn't blow up their houses and kill their families, blow up and destroy their businesses, their water supply, their food supply, then you wouldn't have refugees. You wouldn't have people leaving their country because they love their country. They just do. So, I can say is be happy where you're at, no matter where you're at. You do have food, shelter. It may not be the correct food, it may not be the correct shelter, but you do have it. One of the other things I noticed in Peru also is there's no homeless people. No homeless people. Everybody's working. Everybody works. You don't make much money over there working, but then again, it doesn't cost much money to live. You make about 300 soles. Soles is 3.35, one sole is $3.35 US dollars. So making 300 soles a month, working 5 days a week, 10 hours a day, well, that's about $80 a month. So everybody grows their foods in the Highlands, okay, in these different areas, and there's a massive amount of food being produced there. The only GMOs that are there, guess who they are the American companies that bring them in and to try to poison. They're poisoning the people. McDonald's, okay, Burger King, all, KFC. Look at the ingredients. I'm not bagging on the companies. Guys, if you feel that eating synthetics, hormones, antibiotics, and chemicals and plastic, trans fatty acids, and all these things are good for you, then I think you should keep doing it. And then again, you should take your clothes off in the mirror and look and see what it's doing to you. Look and see what it's doing to your mind, the way your mind now transcribes the matrix. Okay? It's a slow kill. slow accumulation, and it's slow kill on your mind and your body. So again, Earthshift Products has everything at your fingertips. Everything on that site is worthy to enhance your health and wellness, to optimize your health and wellness, to upgrade your health and wellness. What are you waiting for? And I would be very suspicious on buying a lot of things off of Amazon or different places, only because, you know, everybody's trying to sell you something, and unless you can find a company that you really rely and feel that they're doing the work for you, the work. What kind of maca are you going to buy? You're going to buy Chinese maca because it's cheaper. Okay, you're going to buy organic Trader Joe's quinoa. Nothing wrong with it, but it's grown on the lowlands. Okay, just because it's organic doesn't mean it's heirloom. The heirloom plants, the ones that they have over there, grow at the higher levels. Their coffee grows at 8,000 feet. Okay, our coffee on the lowlands here, guess what? It's hybridized, organic schmorganic. That just means they're not using chemicals, supposedly. And just because it says organic, we have to do testing on every product, and we find out that a lot of the products that we purchase, we do testing on every product. They're not what we bought. So the companies, once they find out that we're not stupid, ignorant, they give us the correct products. Okay? Most of the cacao most people are getting is all mixed with all different non-heirloom CCN51, which is a hybridized cacao. And the reason you're having cacao is because it has the chemical, the drug, the nutrients of phenylethylamine in it that opens up your heart, opens up your mind. It makes you feel happy. Yes, it does. The other chocolates, they don't. They produce more. Oh, yes, they do. I saw the cacao fields over there. The hybridized cacao fields produce way more than the non-hybridized or the heirloom, which is food that hasn't been played around with science yet. It hasn't been manipulated. It hasn't had, like wheat, sliced its DNA with opiates. Corn that has been sliced to be able to make it Roundup ready. Okay? Soy that has been the same, spliced to be able to withstand the pesticides that they put on there. It's Roundup ready. So that's one of the biggest things I found out over there. They don't have pesticides because they don't afford them, first of all. And if they do use them, they never use them again after that because it's sort of like against their church. The church is the land. And once you find out that, you know, your body is your church, then you'd want to put in not good food, but you'd want to put in the correct heirloom food inside your system. Just only makes sense. Hey, all right, here's... just doing a video here.
How you doing?
All right, so anyways, we'll give you another section on my trip over there and just give you some ideas on detoxification, which is the big game. So we'll see you next time. Okay, aloha.
Important reminder: all information and ideas are for informational purposes only and are in no way intended as medical advice or as a substitute for medical counseling. Earthshift Products, Dr. Robert Cassar, All of their partners, affiliates, and subsidiaries will not be held accountable for the use or misuse of the information presented therein. This information is not intended as medical advice. The authors, publishers, and speakers of this work are not medical doctors and do not recommend the use of mineral-deficient foods, drugs, or medicines to achieve beauty and to alleviate health challenges. Because there is always some risk involved, all persons involved with the development and distribution of this information are not responsible for any adverse effects or consequences of any kind resulting from the use or misuse of any suggestions or procedures described on our website or Earth Shift Live radio talk show or therein.